It was another dull day on the Dreamlight Valley. While wandering through the Glade of Trust, I discovered an old cookbook. It was full of all sorts of recipes that I had no idea how to make. I immediately brought it to Remy, who identified the recipes as Cajun. He was excited to try and make these recipes, as he knew where these recipes came from. Once we prepared the dishes, a new villager arrived on the valley, Tiana. Before the forgetting, Remy and Tiana were really good friends, considering that they were both cooks. Tiana was quick to set up her home in the Glade of Trust, as well as reopening her store, Tiana's Palace. It was a magnificent restaurant, giving the villagers a new place to eat. Tiana decided to do more than just open a restaurant. She decided to open her own stand, selling freshly made meals to everyone who was interested. Inspired by her best friend Lewis, Tiana made friends with a crocodile in the Glade of Trust. However, Mother Gothel had a few things to say about this. Luckily, we came to an agreement and fixed Mother Gothel's garden, giving her a safe place to grow her things again. Tiana made quite the amazing impact on the valley. She and Remy even began hosting cooking contests. One of them was between Anna, Kristoff, and Mike Wazowski. It was a really fun day. Tiana even wanted to host her own Mardi Gras party, and thanks to Daisy's help, we were able to set one up. Indeed, Tiana's presence was quite a welcoming one. However, there was one overarching presence that none of us could overlook. Things may have been progressing well on Dreamlight Valley, but on Eternity Isle, things were just getting worse. More and more rifts were opening up, not only affecting the area, but the residents as well. Luckily for us, Merlin had figured out a way to stop it. We found a secret entrance into Jafar's palace, but in order to get through, we needed to clear away some of the newer, more powerful rifts that were opening up. However, thanks to Oswald's reality warping powers, all we had to do was throw stuff into those rifts. Things that were of no value to anyone, but something strong enough to seal the rifts off for good. Gaston, Eve, Rapunzel, and Mickey all sealed off the appropriate rifts. Once that was done, the passage into Jafar's palace was open, and so I snuck in. Once inside, I eventually found Jafar, who was already using the spark of imagination to enact his chaotic schemes. Jafar had sealed himself off from everyone, and I couldn't get to him. Luckily for me, he had an assistant, a raven, likely to try and replace his friend Iago. Thanks to the raven's help, I was able to find the key and get to Jafar. Unfortunately, Jafar was ready for me, and had blocked me off from him with another rift. I decided to go into that rift and take him out from the other side. On the other side, it was a black and white world. Luckily for me, Mickey Mouse was here too, due to the time paradoxes affecting him. Both me and him discovered that all the objects we were sending through the rifts were landing here. Jafar thought he could trap us, but we built a flying machine out of the junk we sent through here and made our escape. With no more tricks up his sleeve, Jafar was cornered, with nothing else he could do. Jafar had plenty of things to say, but I managed to trick him into getting trapped into a genie's lamp. With Jafar sealed inside the lamp, his control over the spark of imagination had ceased, and the rifts were finally beginning to close. As for the spark of imagination, I decided it was too powerful for just one being to control. So therefore, I decided to distribute it to everyone within Dreamlight Valley and Eternity Isle. With the spark of imagination nullified, but still present in the smallest form to everyone on Dreamlight Valley, once again, Dreamlight Valley and Eternity Isle were at peace. A couple days later, I struck a deal with Jafar. I released him from the lamp, under the promise that if he could behave himself, and not try to take over the world like last time, he could stay out of that lamp for good. But if he didn't behave himself, he would just go back in again. With my help and a lot of patience, Jafar made amends with those he had troubled, and we rewarded him with a small memorial to his dear friend Iago. Indeed, with Jafar doing good deeds now, Eternity Isle and Dreamlight Valley now had nothing left to fear. Well, at least for now. But that's another story for another day. And until that ever happens, this is Fresh Powder, signing out. Goodbye.